Take one. Actually, I only do one take. Three, two, one, mark. There's this big gigantic couch and every subscriber is sitting on it and we're just like watching TV together and hanging out, and I want that to feel this way. What? What? Why is that happening? Where am I? Damn buttons, man. Every time. Welcome back, everybody. Every time. All right, did we get everybody back? I know some of you are new. You did not make it to the Twitch, but here you are. Looks like I got some people crawling in still. Hey, Tina. So you know how every once in a while, I tell you, like, we've been doing this for 2 years. Like, I still get nervous from time to time. That's true. But I will admit to you that I was more nervous in the last 10 minutes than I have been for quite a while. Okay? Because, full disclosure and a disclaimer to warn you, I have no idea how this is going to go. Okay? I have no idea. But I'm going to give you kind of a heads up. When we get together and we sit and we talk and we laugh and we drink and we share and we dance and we do all this stuff, I think over 2 years you've seen a lot of different sides of me. I mean, there have been times where I have, I've cried in front of you. I've gotten mad at you. I have there's all kinds of stuff. Like, we have been through the gamut. Okay. And I say I'm nervous because when it comes to this real talk stuff, like, I don't have a problem sharing, right? I really don't. But when we get into this kind of stuff and we talk about some hard topics and we talk about some things, it is difficult because we are not just dealing with people from the United States. We're talking with people from all over the world. There's all kinds of cultural differences. There's all kinds of different mindsets and mentalities, different expectations. And the reason I feel like I'm having to kind of warn you is because, like, you notice in the title, there's no reactions. This is just a chat because I don't want people to come into our usual live stream and be like, all right, I heard this is chaos. What do we got? And then it's like, oh, well, this is a complete buzzkill, right? That's not going to be tonight, okay? I'm going to admit some stuff to you, some stuff that's hard for me to talk about, and I'm kind of hoping that with the 100 or so of you in here, and probably the several hundred that will come in and out through the live, we can work together to kind of work through some stuff. And I'll be honest with you, this is going to be tricky for me because I'm the one doing most of the actual talking. But yet I don't want this to also be like a word vomit session for me. I want this to be reciprocal. I want this to help you, right? As well as me. So what I'm kind of hoping is that I can kind of share some things with you that some of you might relate to in some ways. And you can get something out of that when I tell you and we share certain things and certain vulnerabilities or struggles, but also that once I kind of put my stuff on the table and we find maybe some parallels with other people, with everybody, that we can at least try to find a way to get through that. Because even though your struggles might be different than mine, I think fundamentally we are more alike than we are different, right? So fundamentally, we kind of take that shape, we reform it, and then we just figure out, okay, what do I do with it now? Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. Hmm. Now I do know that with all of you here, because we do have 101 people in here now. Um, some of you will be here to encourage because you feel like you're in a good spot. I'm here. I've made it through X, Y, and Z. I'm here to be strong. Hey, let me give you some advice. We'll take that advice. We'll at least hear it, right? It might work for some. It might work for me. It might work for others. Who knows? Um, some of you might hopefully find some strength in this because you relate to some of the struggles that are happening. But if anything, the way that I have always kind of viewed things is that, and I'll actually quote Old Crow. Where's Crow? Are you here? I thought I saw your name, Thelma. Thelma put something in Discord that I thought was really great. Matter of fact, I'm just see if I can pull it up real quick, just because I want to read it. It's just a little blurb. There she is. Hey, Thelma. But it was really sweet. For those of you that don't know, like we have the Discord, we have a channel in the Discord that's called the Mental Health Bench. And this is probably one of the things that I am most proud of with our community. Because people do such a good job of not only being there for each other and consoling each other and encouraging each other, but on the other side of that coin, people do an awesome job of putting themselves out there. Like that takes a lot of courage to do that. And so a perfect example of this is something that Thelma said. And she was just kind of making a statement and she said, I love the support here for each other. The one thing I will say is always get it out. Either talk to someone or even just write it down somewhere. It lets you look at it from another perspective. And that was always the thing that helped me. It was like looking at a puzzle and I could see more sides and detach some of the more intense feelings and come from another perspective. I think that's really, really well said. So at the very least, if we just kind of put things out there, I feel like that is the first step in us coming to terms with things, right? Making it known. And then figuring out what to do. Because like as humans, like we don't have all the damn answers. Ideally, because we have a community of so many people, so many good people that we can kind of work together like we do in the Discord to help each other up, help each other figure things out. Yeah. Junie says, speak yourself. Spot on. So I do know, because I do try my best when I have time to go through the Discord to read some of the mental health stuff, to read some of the rants. And so I know where a lot of you are already currently and or have been recently, and I know what you're going through. So I know that with all of us here, we're coming from different places, and that's okay. I think it kind of needs to be that way. Because if we had all of us in this like rut, we'd have a hell of a time trying to get out of that rut together. You know what I mean? But we need people to kind of like, people that have been there, done that, to like, hey, let's pull each other up and figure things out, right? So let me ask you this. I'll just throw this general question to the chat. How many of you would say that when the holidays come around, they tend to be kind of a hard time for you? Does anybody feel that way? I'm a master of pushing things down, and I exploded mentally 2 years ago. Yeah, ups and downs. Some of you have difficulty. Some of you have difficulty this year. Some of you choose to work. Hmm. And I do love the holidays too. Hey, Singer. I love the holidays too. And I don't know if it's something that I'm just not aware of, but in the last few years, they have really, really affected me mentally and financially. Isn't that the truth? Hmm. What I think is interesting is that the reason I ask you that question is because I feel like in some ways we can identify for a lot of us on a fundamental level, like, hey, here's a pattern that happens with 40% of us, right? The holidays come, and whether it's colder weather or seasonal affective disorder, you get depressed. Sometimes it's related to that, and then that's like, oh well, I'm not the only one going through this right now. Okay, but I know that's not it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just that. It's not just that it's the holidays. It's not just that, the weather is colder or the days are shorter or whatever it is. You know what I mean? What I find interesting is that so many of you already are able to identify outside of the holiday question, you're already able to identify and put out there that you like this is what you deal with. Some of you have already talked about anxiety. Some of you have talked about how you just close up and you keep everything inside, and then at some point you just explode and there's nothing you can do about it. You're already identifying these ways that you struggle. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just throwing it out there, and then we figure out what to do with it. Expectations. Now, some of the things that I'm going to kind of ease into here, um, they're very personal to me, because honestly, like I am not, I am like I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. Like I'm not claiming to be. I'm not going to cure you of anything. Like, this is just a bunch of friends sitting down and having a chat. That's what we're doing here. Okay. And I don't really know how to do that virtually with all of you sitting here in a way that will benefit everybody. I don't know how to do that. So, what I have decided to do that makes the most sense in my brain because of how this platform and how this system works is to basically, I'm going to share some things with you that you're probably not aware of. Some of it might be a little bit of a light bulb, and I'll admit some things to you. But then maybe once that's kind of out there, we can use that as a framework and then kind of build together. Okay, that's kind of the goal. Oh boy. I hope you brought a drink because I sure as hell did. Cheers. All right, let's see here. You notice how when I started, you notice how when I started this live, I started with the usual start screen, right? here, and chat was doing its thing, and the music's playing, and blah, blah, blah. And then I went to this. Take one. Actually, I only do one take. Okay. Three. And a lot of you said, oh, the old couch intro. You're absolutely right. And I played this for a long time because I wanted the videos to I wanted the live streams to feel like the videos. 3, 2, 1, mark. But there's a reason I stopped playing this. There's this big gigantic couch and every subscriber is sitting on it and we're just like watching TV together and hanging out, and I want that to feel this way. I stopped playing that because I struggle hardcore with what's known as body dysmorphia. Now, that's not diagnosed, okay? I've done a lot of research, and I think that's what it is, and I'm going to explain if you don't know what that is, so don't worry. But I realized one day that here we are. I'm showing you this intro of the good old days, if you will. Take one. And you see this version of me, this handsome, jacked fella, and then all of a sudden I bring you into the live stream, and it's just little old stumpy man. Okay? So I stopped showing it. That's when I went to like, just come right into the live, let's have some fun, and then we go from there. Okay? So there's a reason for that. This is part of the conversation for me, okay? Without being too candid or giving too much information, I will tell you that I got into a bit of an argument with a loved one recently. And part of that conversation, that argument, was about how when I do this and I'm with you, I am bubbly. I'm fun, I'm boisterous, I'm exciting, I'm pure madness. But then when the camera's off, I'm only that way sometimes. I'm not being a fake version of myself, but this is a very curated scene that you're seeing here, okay? This is where this conversation gets difficult because I don't want to make you think that I don't want you to make you think that when we're doing this, like I'm putting on a show. Now, yes, I want you to have fun, and I am trying to be fun and entertaining, but it's not disingenuous. This is absolutely me, but this is the version of me when I'm with my friends. Like when I'm sitting around an actual physical table with friends, and I'm telling my stories, and we're making our jokes. This is exactly how I am. Hell, if anything, I'm toned down. If that should not surprise you, but that's true. Okay. But so through this conversation or argument, if you will, I had to kind of like back up and be like, hold on a second. Here's what I need you to understand about this space for me. I have the power in these live streams and videos to only show you what I want you to see. That is what I mean when I say it's curated. I can choose the camera angle. I can choose how high my desk is. I can choose if I never get out of this damn seat. Do you notice? Now, granted, yesterday was a bit of an exception because I was hammered out of my gourd. But you notice I don't dance much anymore. It happens. I've usually had a couple drinks, but I don't dance like I used to. Well, you know why that is now. I am glued to this seat. I'm using the desk and the camera angle to like very particularly choose what I want you to see and what I want you to not see, right? If you notice, going back to this, and I will make sense of this, I promise. Right now, I'm just kind of word vomiting. Take one. When was the last time you saw me wear this shirt? It's probably been a year and a half of the 2 years that we've been doing this. I have 3 trash bags full of clothes upstairs stored away that just do not fit me from when I started streaming. Part of that is from stress. Part of that is from stress. That's pretty much what happens, right? The communities that I have run in my career as an adult, it's military, it's paramilitary, and that's it for 25 years that I've been a grown up for the most part. And in those communities, it's pretty much just the way it is that if you are overweight in any way, you are incompetent. You are pretty useless. Those are the circles that I run. Now, what's strange about this is that I don't apply that to anybody in any capacity, in any world, have I ever, but to myself. So it's really strange, and I'm aware of that. Now, for those of you that don't understand what body dysmorphia is, I'm going to play this video for you. How many of you are familiar with Matt Mercer? Matt Mercer is the host of Critical Role, which is I guess it's a series online. It's Dungeons and Dragons. You know, they do like role play stuff. Matt Mercer is phenomenal. He's a wonderful guy. And if you watch him in his series, he is amazing. He's wicked talented. He's a handsome fella. And he has some struggles. But you wouldn't know that these struggles exist when you see him in action. All right. So this is a little over 4 minutes, but I'm going to play the whole thing because everything that Matt is talking about, it's as if I wrote it and he's saying it, which some of you have already said in the chat. Me talking, you feel like I'm talking for you. And that's kind of what I was hoping for in some way, that I would at least reach one person and you can kind of understand, you know what I'm going through and I know what you're going through, and then we can kind of shift from there, okay? So let me give you this screen. This was a podcast that happened a little over a year ago. This guy up in the top right-hand corner right here, that is Matt, okay? He's the one that's going to be doing the majority of the talking. So I just want you to listen to what he's saying, and then we'll kind of go from there, okay?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I recognized in kind of a similar way, I guess you could say, in growing up, I love my parents to death. They were amongst their faults. I mean, my father was bipolar, which combined with alcoholism and drug addiction is a delightful spectrum of experiences. But he's a wonderful dad. But you know, he had his issues, and so into becoming when I say that, I became the parent in a lot of ways. Like my parents were severely in debt and had a lot of tax debt, and then I had to get a job right out of high school instead of going to college so I could help support them and my brother as well, who was still in school at the time. And so I was working to help support them while also being the emotional backbone of the family for a long time. And like my credit was ruined because we had to put everything under my name as soon as I came of age. And so what this did was it instilled with me this need to work as hard as possible to take care of the world. That behavior to this day creeps into my life where I don't allow myself the opportunity to relax. I'm afraid that at any moment that I'm not trying to fix what other problems are out there or put out fires, and I'm going to lose control and it's going to fall apart. I'm going to end up being like my parents were, you know, and that causes me to work myself to death. That's caused me in previous like friendships and relationships difficulty because people felt like they weren't a priority in my life. And you know, it's been its own nerve-wracking thing. I'm getting all kind of anxious talking about this.
It's hard. It's not easy to talk about.
Yeah. The main thing I'm finding that I've struggled with my entire life and only recently in recent years been able to really identify is a unique kind of merger of, I don't know how to describe it, a very extreme imposter syndrome perpetually. combined with a lifetime of fair body dysmorphic disorder.
Could you give us the quick definition of that? Because I have an impression of it, but I've never known somebody who has had it and heard them kind of talk to me about it.
Right. So, well, the body dysmorphic disorder, it identifies an individual who, regardless of their physical states, regardless of their health, regardless of compliments, regardless of any type of support, they cannot help but see themselves as a, for lack of a better term, a grotesque person.
Wow.
Like to the point where growing up, I would not go to pool parties because I didn't want to have my shirt off. I didn't, even today, I just don't go to the beach. I mean, the few times that I've forced myself in recent years to, like, you know, go to a pool for like a friend's bachelor party or whatever, like I'm still keeping my shirt on in the pool. And, you know, and the few times I've decided not to because people get me shit about it, I'd get really uncomfortable and just leave the pool.
Yeah.
Walking past my mirror today, I try to avoid eye contact with myself. And when I do, it's usually like hating what I see. You know, it's taken a lot to get comfortable. It's even like take a shower with my wife. You know,
wow.
It's interesting. And you know, I'm getting sorry. I'm getting better. It's harder when I'm working really hard because then I can't take care of myself as much, and that helps offset it a little bit because when you're healthy or you're eating better, you're exercising, you can't help but feel a little better, just energy level wise. So as I get busier and force myself to work harder because of the other scenario, I end up kind of falling into this downward spiral of self-loathing. And then to compound that with the you know, the imposter syndrome idea, as much, and I can objectively say I've done a lot of really, really good things I'm proud of in my career. I've worked really hard over the years to get where I am, but the entire time I'm just waiting for everyone to figure out that I don't know what I'm doing, and I've faked my way through it to this point, and everything's just gonna disappear.
How many of you feel like something that Matt said was using your words in some way? Because he talked about a few things. Yeah, it's like listening to myself, right? And that's why I thought that this would be the best way that we could start, because I don't know how you could say this better. I mean, this doesn't relate to all of you, and I know that. This is not telling all of your stories. There's no way we could do that. But for me personally, in the framework that I want to at least try to build off of this made the most sense to me, because it's literally like he's using my words. You know, initially he was talking about, and he was growing up, he's trying to save the world. If I'm not working all the time and trying to put out these fires and trying to save all these people, I feel like I'm not doing enough, right? And I can't help that. Like, that is, I will sacrifice myself to try to save others, like at my own expense. That is one of my flaws. Like, I'm not good at boundaries. I'm not. And honestly, like, you know, a year ago or whatever it was, we had these rules kind of come down the pike from my career. And one of those was, we need to close the DMs. Okay. Like direct messages, like no go. Let's just keep it simple, keep it clean, do the live streams, leave it at that. And that was pretty devastating for me for a number of reasons. But it was also, looking back, it was also one of the best things that could have happened, because at that time, there were so many conversations that I had open, And all of these people that through these conversations were, for lack of a better term, really counting on me to provide answers, to provide solutions, to provide guidance or support. And the list goes on. So for me to have to all of a sudden close these doors, I felt like I was going to be responsible if their stuff fell apart, because I don't know how to like set boundaries. I just don't know. And in some of these cases, like, I don't know if this person actually needs help right now or if they're kind of blowing things out of proportion. And I have no idea, because I have gone through enough time in my life where I have lost really close friends for a number of reasons. Some of those were by their choices, is probably the safest way I can say that. And there's always going to be this part of myself that thinks, could we have done something to prevent that? So I say all this because one of the things that I relate to with Matt is that he talks about, if I'm not working and pushing and grinding, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, and I'm not going to earn the affection and love that I need to continue. Does that make sense? I know that's a really strange way to put it, but that's essentially what's happening. I learned at a really young age that we have to work for our affection, right? It's tricky. Yeah. And the truth is, like, regardless, like, we all have, there's 160 of us in here right now. We all have our very unique origin story. All of us. We have an origin story from when we were born to our childhood, to our adolescence, and that story shifts as we go. All of us have that origin story. How do we, like, I feel like there's a point where, not a point, probably multiple points per day where we have to decide, am I going to let my origin story take over and make this decision for me, or am I going to do it manually? For some of us, that's trauma. For some of us, that is an upbringing. It's parents, it's guardians, it's any number of events that can change you as a person, losing a loved one. I think it's safe to say, and we can't deny that those types of events change us. But I think that as time goes on, we learn how to manage that. And even though it changed us in these ways, we just kind of learn to deal with those changes and we just keep going. Does that make sense? Sorry. I feel like I'm really rambling. I'm trying to make sense of it as I'm going. This is not as easy as me putting on a music video and then saying, well, you know how they did this transition? This is hella different. And with Matt, and he's talking about the dysmorphia, like, some of you immediately, as soon as he talked about the pool parties or the mirrors, you try to avoid looking at the mirror 100% today, right? I mean, I feel like I have like maybe 4 sets of clothes that I will wear on stream or out in public that I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable in this, but not great. strangely, I will say it does make me feel better that some of you know what I'm talking about. And it's not just me. Yeah, hoodie life. Isn't that the truth? God. Ugh. And honestly, like, even when people just acknowledge my weight in any way, like, I know they're right, but when they acknowledge it, it's crushing. Perfect example. And this is so, it's petty. It's absolutely petty. If you take my first couple reactions, like my first month maybe, you know, I was this guy. We just talked about it.
Take one.
I was this guy.
Actually, I only do one take.
Just, this is a bad man. Rawr, rawr. That was me. Well, because of the fact that I was trying to put out a video every single day and spending 4 to 6 hours every day on how to edit these things, how to upload subtitles, like, it was a disaster. And that first month of YouTube, where we went from 0 to 10,000 people, I was freaking out. So I stopped taking care of myself. I started eating. I was stressed, and it just went, and it all exploded. Like, I know that for the most part, you really could care less. You could care less, like, how much weight I'm putting on or what I look like. It's just, you're just having fun. We're having fun on the couch. Like, you don't care. And I know that. But a couple months in, somebody put a comment on one of the videos. Very innocent comment. And they said, they were commenting on one of my original videos, like the first live stream. And they went, the leaner days. I think I've grown with you, Roscoe. My pants certainly tell me that. And I was like, oh, and that crushed me. That's an innocent comment. They're not wrong. They're not trying to be mean. They're literally just making an offhanded, friendly comment. But that crushed me. Ugh. Yeah. So I use that as an example just to say, like, even when somebody acknowledges it, it affects me hard. And you'd think it would be enough to push me back in the direction to be like, hey, bro, people are seeing it. Get your shit together. It doesn't work that way, because then I feel twice as bad. And what do I do when I feel bad? I eat. I eat my feelings. Somebody called me out once, and they were like, this is a friend of mine. They were like, you realize you're an addict, right? And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I hardly drink. Like, what? And they're like, no, you're addicted to food. I was like, huh, I guess that's a thing. 100%. 100%. I have a bad day. I eat to feel better. I have a great day. I eat to celebrate. And this is a vicious circle. It's like over the years, food has become the one thing that I could control, you know, because I had access, because it was easy, because it worked. Yeah, and you just can't stop doing it. It's crazy. Man. You know, when I was in the Marine Corps, it was this never-ending cycle of wake up early, physical training, 6-mile run, 10-mile run, 100 push-ups, blah, 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 whatever. And granted, I was 18 years old. I'm 20 years old. The only thing I could control was food. And even that really quickly became can't control. So at this point, I'm just kind of word vomiting, okay? I'm going to make sense. Let me at least try to steer this back so it's not just about me whining to you this whole time. And I know the opposite of this for some of you is that food might serve the similar purpose, but in the opposite way. Some of you will not eat because you don't like what you see, right? And either way, the result is the same. It's incredibly unhealthy. It's not how it should be. You know, like we say there is no should. You know, there's no normal. No, but we can identify things that are completely unhealthy for us. And at least the point of us doing this is to identify things where we can take, okay, here's a snapshot of my life. What can I do to make it just a little bit better? And better being like healthier, actually making me better. Maybe it'll lengthen my life a little bit if I stop eating like an asshole all the time, right? Not too long ago, I shared with you one of my old videos. When I was trying to make sense of the world, I started this series called Lens Therapy. Now, I'm not going to play that video again, but I am going to play another video. Because the video that I played talked about self-respect and how, and this was 2017, I think, when I did that video, how I'd gotten sick of myself, I'd had enough, I have to do something about it. So I put this video out there about how from here on, I'm putting it out there and I'm going to do something about it. And at the end of the video, it said, to be continued, right? There was not a continued until much later.
Six months after my dad died, I was still really struggling. You know, and what do you say to somebody that knows that they're going to die? And my thoughts and memories became my worst enemy. And on September 10th, 2017, I set up my camera and I just started pouring my soul out. I had no idea what I was going to say, but I knew that I needed to get it out. And that day, Lens Therapy was born. 5 months later, February 22nd, 2018, I'd had enough of my own self-criticism and lack of confidence, and I had learned to hate myself. I uncovered the camera, and I once again processed everything that I was going through. That video ended like this. Where it stayed. I can't afford to be on the sidelines anymore, a critic of my own life. It's time for me to step into the arena once and for all. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly.
And that video was almost 3 years ago. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at us that make us do some crazy stuff, like in the worst way. And I have been really guilty for a long time of, God, how do I say this? A lot of things, right? One of those things is taking care of other people instead of myself. You know, and when I talk to people, I even use the analogy of the oxygen mask. When you're on an airplane, they tell you, hey, if something happens, if you're a parent, put your own oxygen mask on first, and then you take care of the kid, right? Like, I use that analogy with people, and it makes sense. But, like, I can't do the shit. I don't know how to take care of myself and not other people first. I don't know how to sacrifice you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to stop doing that. Ooh, sorry, I am really just kind of letting this fly. Let me open up this window real quick because I'm getting hot and bothered. All right. And I do appreciate it, you guys. Like, I see the sweet comments, and I do appreciate it, and I love you back. Like, this 2 years have been life-changing. They absolutely have been life-changing. You guys are good people, and I appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, I do want to be the best version of myself, but not for you, right? I want to be it for me. Like, I go through these moments, these ups and downs. And again, I word vomit this because I'm hoping that some of you will relate to this and you'll know what I'm talking about. And we're kind of on the same plane. You know what I mean? And then also those of you that have kind of been there, done that, you can also say, yeah, that was me 20 years ago and I got past it. You're going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I go through these undulations of when I feel like all of this is in check. I'm walking tall, baby. I rule the world. I'm ready to take on the day every day. Here we go. And I'm slaughtering life. But as soon as this starts to waver, as soon as the stress picks up, as soon as life throws these curveballs at me, I just, and I fall, man. I fall hard. And as soon as that spiral begins, it's over. And it's a matter of a week. The new foundation has been built. I have been eating my feelings or drowning my sorrows, and it begins all over again. Now 2 weeks, now a month, now 6 months. And not only am I not walking tall, I want to hide. You know, we're at the point of no return here, right? When I started doing this, I was that buff, hard charger ready to take on the world. And then when that started kind of falling apart, I didn't want to stop, but I also didn't want you to be able to see all of the bad ways that I was changing. So I did my best over these 2 years to like hide as much as I could. And I will say that as long as we've been doing this, you know, we have our fun, we have our moments, we have story time and all that. Like, I've had a genuine blast with you guys. And I say that us doing this has been life-changing for me because when we started this, like, BTS was what I needed to kind of lose myself in because here's a perfect example. Before BTS happened to me, like legitimately, All of my playlists, everything, were from when I was a kid. Everything. I lived in the past. For me, that was a coping mechanism because I didn't want to face like reality sometimes. The truth is, like, my life is pretty damn good. That is absolutely the truth. But something inside me would always revert back to childhood. And that's why I would listen to all of the same songs. That's it. So when BTS happened, that was literally like a kick in the ass to like, okay, like, be here now. Like, this is what it's about. So BTS was my catalyst into modern day music and art, at least. But when you guys came along, that was different. That was for me. Because not too long before I started doing this, I changed jobs. And when I changed jobs, I went from being a weapons teacher where I'm teaching classes and I have students and I get to interact with all these people and I have my friends that I tell stories with and we laugh and share and oh, it was so good. And then I switch jobs and then I'm in an office and I'm behind the screen all day and I can't tell my stories anymore. I can't banter with my friends anymore. So my life gets this massive chunk taken out of it and I'm kind of lost. I think it was maybe 2 years later, give or take. I did the Beat Saber thing. You guys told me, hey, check out some BTS. You're going to like them. And I did. And I didn't know that this was going to happen. It's not like it was planned, right? You guys literally pulled me in here kicking and screaming. And here we are. You guys gave me a huge chunk of my life back. And to that, I will be forever grateful. And one of the ways that I want to pay that back is to, for the right reasons, I want to be the best version of myself. Like, I owe that to you. When we turn on the live and we put on music and we have fun, like, we should be having fun. We'll have the occasional moment where shit gets kind of real and we shed a couple tears, we share some stuff, we confess some things. Like, that happens. It's going to happen. But ideally, when the family gets together, whether it's chaos, whether it's real, anything in between, it's authentic. That is the type of world that we have tried to create here. And I want to continue to do that. I want to be real with you. I don't want to hide behind the friggin' desk. I don't want to not eat on camera because I'm afraid that you're judging me. Look at this fat bastard stuffing his face. That's the kind of shit that goes on in my brain. You know, like, we joke about snack time and how much I love snacks. Like, that's real. Like, that is real. But there's still this whole level of like, ooh, I don't know what to do or how to joke, you know? Yeah, it's tricky, man. Okay, I'm totally getting off on a sidebar. Let me just have a little milk. Man. Jojo, I don't know if now is the best time to start requesting me rubbing food over myself. I mean, I get it, and I do appreciate the request. I don't know if now is the best time. It's very sweet, though. Oh, man. Knox, I'm sorry, buddy. This is your first live? Oh, no. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, welcome, Knox. Oh, shit. Ambar, you too? Oh, man. That's too funny. God, there's a little bit more of you actually here than normally is for the request. It's crazy. Oh, Shooky, hey, buddy. Oh, man. So if I could kind of break down all of the stuff that I'm spitting out at you. See, for me, the struggle is about body image. That's what it is for me. Some of you, that's body image. Some of you, it's anxiety. Some of you, it's, God, any number of things. It's trauma. It's losing somebody. It's an event. It's a series of events. It's a relationship gone wrong. This list goes on forever. Anxiety and depression. Yep. Check. Check, check. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The empaths have it bad, man. That's 100% true. Feeling other people's emotions as if they're your own. Ugh. Guilty. Check. Man. Hey, Brian. Yep. PTSD. Yep. Yeah, Nat, I hear you there. I've been so stuck this last year. I want to finally start moving again. I don't like the idea that this is all, like we said, real talk and resolutions, New Year's resolution. Like, I don't want it to be that shallow, but it really is a perfect time to kind of start with a clean slate. I was kind of in rock star mode in the middle of September. I was killing it, walking tall, and then something happened and the bottom fell out. And for the last 3 months, I have just ruined myself. So the question is, with all of us here and all of our diagnoses, all of our grief and anxiety and depression and trauma, where do we go from here, right? Now, are we going to solve everybody's problems in the chat with a little talk today? Hell no. The truth is, most of us need therapists. Like, that's true. That's not a joke. Like, most of us should be sitting down with a paid therapist and working through some shit. 100%. That is the answer. That's not a joke. I'm trying to be as clear as possible. But yeah, a supportive community like this, it helps. It is a tool in the tool belt. Some of you are already seeing a therapist. That's awesome. There is no shame in it. The biggest enemy is yourself. Isn't that the damn true? Yeah. I can't even talk right now. Truth. Yeah. Marina, that's beautiful. DSM 5. That's great. I'm glad that some of you kind of understand what I'm talking about. I wish that wasn't the case, but for like those of you that say you feel heard and you feel seen, you feel safe, that's what makes me happy. I'm really introverted, truth be told. But having a community like you all that have proven time and time again that you're good people. You take care of each other. You look out for each other. Yeah, there's a level of understanding here that I'm very grateful for. That's good, Deb. Therapy helps, but only I can make changes. That's true. The therapist is not going to change your life for you. A good therapist will help you find the answers. You find them, you actually reach them, but they will help kind of guide you there. They'll ask you the right questions, and you just got to be ready to talk. And you'll start to like, find these answers. But then what you do with that information, well, that makes all the difference. Guidance, yeah, very good. I hear that, Natalie. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it makes a good point. The community has also been really great, not only in the mental health bench about, these hard times that we have and the times that we struggle, but we also do a great job of celebrating each other. It's one thing I'm really grateful for. I obviously, we have these moments where I'm very thankful we're able to have these real talk moments, throw everything on the table, figure out what the hell to do with it, and then try to move forward in a positive way, in positive direction. But I don't want that to be what we are, what we do, The community celebrates each other. I love that. Journaling, very helpful. I do agree. I still have some journals. I wish I didn't, but I do. Yeah. And for those of you that do feel safe here, that makes me very grateful. I'm very proud of our community. I'm going to really quickly share a short with you. Because when I started chewing on all this stuff, and I was like, God, what the hell are we going to talk about? I don't know how I'm going to do this. I almost didn't want to do what I have done for the last hour and 10 minutes. Are you serious? Oh, boy. I'm not going to apologize. This is what we set out to do. But my intention was not to blah and just throw it out there, right? It wasn't. I was kind of putting some stuff together, and this short came up, and I saved it because it was like, ooh, it was kind of poking me in the face, okay? This is 19 seconds. I'm going to let it play through a couple times.
So it's funny, there's this game and this dance we dance with ourselves. We go, am I ready? Am I not ready? The reality is, you will never be ready for anything. So to me, when I fall into that position, I'm like, am I ready? I just do it. And just remember, the price you must pay to become great is you must first be shit. There's only one way to mastery. There's only one way to greatness. So it's funny.
Now I'm going to play that again. Right? There's only one way to greatness, one way to mastery. You kind of have to be shitty to get to the greatness.
There's this game and this dance we dance with ourselves. We go, am I ready? Am I not ready? The reality is, you will never be ready for anything. So to me, when I fall into that position, I'm like, am I ready? I just do it. And just remember, the price you must pay to become great is you must first be shit. There's only one way to mastery. There's only one way to greatness.
So I wanted to share that with you. Because if there's anything, like if I can offer you some at least experiential information from my own journey, I have found it's things like that short, that just comes at the right time. And I go, interesting. And it gets me thinking about stuff, right? And part of my issue, which maybe some of you can relate to, is that it's like if we're not great right now, we will never be great. We can't be great because we're not great right now. So you just like, I just want me to try. Whatever, I don't care. It's like I forget that in order for me to become better, like I still have to kind of start where I'm in right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to snap my fingers and after a week of work, I'm going to have a 6-pack and broad shoulders and giant pecs and man nipples. No, maybe like 2 weeks. Something I commented on in the Sushita episode that happened the other day is Seho said, I gave myself the gift of average weight. Yo, that hit me like a truck. Because it's like I would be, for me, allowing myself to just be healthier, feel better about myself, instead of this ridiculous expectation that I have to be 5% body fat, have the 6-pack, have the giant pecs, and then people will love me. Then people will accept me and take me seriously. I know how ridiculous that sounds. I know that. But I don't know how to function outside of that. Man, this really is full circle. It's not going full circle. It's circular. I don't know how to pull out of this right now. You have to learn to walk before you run. Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's a question for you, chat. I have thrown some stuff on the table. You have thrown some stuff on the table. Where do we go from here, right? Here's what I'll ask, because that's a pretty broad question. What are some of your resolutions? What are some of your goals for next year? Let me hear what you got. How are you helping yourself in the new year or next year? Let's start with that. Good one. Finish college, finalize divorce, become healthy, be okay with saying no, quit smoking, be healthier. Nice. Yep. Be selfish. Good one, Grishma. Find stability. Find the joy in small things. Oh, I love that. Health. Finally being healthy. Learn Korean. Find a way to love my job again. Take scary steps. Oh, I love that, Perry. Be happy with myself. Learn to love myself a little bit. Yeah. Get into a paramedics program. Good one. Start at the doorway and inch in from there. Good one, Thelma. Y'all got some good ones. Finding yourself. Yep. Wow. Watch more Roscoe videos. Oh, that's the best one yet. Finally, somebody with some sense around here. Stop being afraid of new experiences. Pixel, I can absolutely relate to that. I tend to stay away from new experiences because I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. Become a little braver. Nice. Man, y'all being vulnerable right now. This is really good. Wow. Do it for the story. Oh, Shooky, I love it. Wow. I'm really impressed, you guys. This is really good. You know what I kind of love about this, honestly, that I didn't expect? I kind of love that there's so much variety all throughout the chat. I really expected when I asked that question that it was going to be kind of maybe like 3 things that kind of repeated. No, this is really, really broad. And I think that's much better, actually. Yeah, Judy, you can't afford me, hon. Sorry. See, and what I like is some of you put multiple ones, which of course is fine. I'll accept it. I'll allow it. But like you put like kind of a simple one, kind of a fun one, and then you put like a serious one. That's good. That is good. Yeah. See, and one of the mistakes that I've always made is that when I set these goals, and they're not always resolutions, but when I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go for this goal. That goal is obnoxious. I have these outlandish convictions where the goal that I've set is ridiculous. Perfect example. First race I ever ran was 32 miles. Couldn't be a 5K. Couldn't be a 10K like a normal person. Nope. I'm going to run 32 miles. Come on, man. Idiot. No. That's how I function. Now, I learned something from those experiences, but like, yeah, it's all or nothing with me. And that's one of the things that I have to break. And honestly, from your answers with your resolutions and your goals, you all do a really good job of the baby steps. Like, you do a really good job of that. And that's what I got to figure out for myself. How can I just take baby steps in the right direction? You know, moderation is not my gift at all. At all. I figure out how to get some damn moderation in my life, and then maybe a month from now, I'll be a little bit better. And then a month from then, I'll be a little bit better. And at some point, ideally, I'll get comfortable with my damn self, and I won't want to hide all the damn time. You know? Patience, yeah. Small goals. This live is the first baby step. Thank you, Knox. Do I have anybody in my life who can help me stay on track? I do. I do have people that will hold me accountable. And I'm aware of that, and I'm going to use that. Yeah. Now, some of those people will keep me accountable in ways that are not ideal, but I'm going to use that to my advantage. Ooh, a body double. I like that idea. Here's the irony of this. This is a little embarrassing, but full disclosure, vulnerability, it's kind of why we're here. One of the roles that I have played before for multiple people is as a life coach. Isn't that ironic? Well, that doesn't make any sense. You don't have your shit together. You're damn right I don't. It's really easy to tell other people what they should do. Like, I feel like I know what I should do. I just don't know how to make my, I mean, I do. That is, I'm not being truthful when I say that. I know what to do. I know how to do it. But when the time comes to go green light, here we go. We're going to be uncomfortable. We're going to be shit for a little while. I struggle with that. But that's normal, isn't it? There's a saying in France, shoemakers have the worst shoes. One step at a time. That's right, Alpaca. One step at a time. Yep. One of the things that I told my, and I'll just say clients, my clients when I was, life coaching or whatever, I would lay out some of the things that they were going to experience when they were going to experience struggle, difficulties. Be like, hey, when you go to do this thing, this is what's going to pop in your head. This is what you're going to feel. You know why I'm telling you that? So when it pops in, you know that that's part of the process. It's part of the process. Accept it. Keep going forward. Okay? You've been warned. Now go do your thing. And I never had that not work. It always worked. Right? Understanding kind of what you're up against is a pretty good tool. Just keep swimming. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Having your degree in mental health counseling. You know all the tricks. You know how to help everybody else. But it's not like you can help yourself, right? Yeah. There must be some suffering that comes with change. Mm-hmm. Ooh, good one, Joyce. Vigilance against self-sabotage. Well said. Oh, Bethany, you just came into a good one. Oh, boy. We got some new blood, people. Oh, boy. Oh, Bethany, you're new. Oh, man. Interesting. This isn't going to be like the usual goofy reaction. We're having some real talk as a family. You just walked into a family meeting. Yeah, what a time to join. Jeez. Hang on, buckle up. Interesting. That's really well said, Pop. I have a hard time differentiating between self-sabotage and being understanding that I have flaws and need to acknowledge them. Well, damn, if that isn't deep. Huh. Damn, look at Bethany coming in hot. All right, if we're talking therapy, here you go. For there is bad, there is good days, bad days, and it all works itself out in time. Absolutely. Absolutely. My trick is, how do I stop having all the bad days all the time? And I really don't. Again, I'm being dramatic. 100%. Don't let me trick you and make you think that I'm a really unhappy person. I'm not. Everything that we have done and I have said and told you, like, I've been straightforward with you. I want to make that really clear. Get more sleep. Damn, need that one. Yeah. Oh, hey, Chimber. Oh, thank you, girlie. That's very sweet. Small changes. Ooh, the first was no fast food. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. It's about outlook, perspective. Stop thinking they're bad. Yeah. Accept the good and the bad. Hmm. Yeah. Bye, Emily. Thanks for hanging out with us. Mm. It sounds like a lot of us kind of have the same problem where we need to just like hit the go button and just kind of get moving, you know? That's what we're going to do. Hmm. You know, one of the things that I had talked to Lulu about on the Discord was I wonder if we could do like a journal thing, you know? People just kind of throw their thoughts out. It's not the rant. Like maybe there's a way for people to throw their goals on there, and then people can emoji their goals. So now it's accountability. Part of this for me also was, oh, butt warmers for sitting in the snow. I hope we don't spend too much time in the snow. Yeah, tonight we definitely are. Yeah, we talked about doing some kind of journaling thing, and then there being some level of accountability. But I don't know if that was ever quite fleshed out. But the point of the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think the first step for all of us has kind of happened tonight because we put things out there for the public to see, to read, to hear. I feel like that's the first step, is acknowledging that there's something that needs to change in some way, right? That's the first step. But where we go from here will be interesting. Somebody throw up the Discord link for Bethany, please. Thank you. Thank you, Rondo. Thanks, Megan. I hope you get some sleep. I say Megan. It could be Megan. It looks like a Megan. But either way, sleep well. Small steps. That's right. Even if they're scary. That's one thing I want to be better about. Because here's what kills me. I'm going to whisper this because I don't want you know who to hear it. This is what's really hard for me to admit to you. And I kind of implied it earlier, but this is where I struggle is with confidence, self-esteem. It's gone. And sometimes I'll be watching a movie or a TV show with, and she'll comment on a character about confidence. Either that guy has got so much confidence, he's sexy, or God, this guy has no confidence. It's so off-putting. Oof. She's not saying that to me, but I hear it and I take it that way. And I'm like, damn. And that just shoves me down further. I'm like, how do I change this? I tell you that because it's another example of how this one little fundamental issue that I have that seems to drive all of these decisions and experiences that I go through every single day with all these people in my life has all these tendrils that seem to grab and throw me and toss me about. And I just feel like I can't get my feet under me. It's a domino. Yeah. Thelma, you're absolutely right. And I absolutely know that. It's not always about me. I know. Yep. Smug. Does anybody remember the, if we can find it, it'll be amazing. There's a guy that has some YouTube videos. He's pretty big. He's not a YouTuber. His name is Jay something. He's like a philosopher. So he's put Jay, oh, let me find it. Somebody's going to know who it is. Jay philosophy. Jay Shetty? Jay Shetty. Good one, Kate. Jay Shetty. Yes, thank you. There's this thing that he says, and I hope I can find it. If you find it and you have a link, please throw it up there. Jay's in an interview. He's very philosophical. And he says, we think that, like, I am who I think I am. But no, it's that I am who you think I am, who I think I am. I'm not even remotely saying that right. I am. There we go. Oh my God, I found it. Did I find it? Shut up. Oh, I found it. Oh my God, I'm brilliant. Look at this. Listen.
There's this beautiful quote that I've been saying it everywhere. It's by a philosopher and writer named Cooley. And he said that today, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am.
Did you get all that? I had to listen to it like 17 times to get it.
There's this beautiful quote.
I'll do it again.
I've been saying it everywhere. It's by a philosopher and writer named Cooley. And he said that today, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am.
Right? They don't know that they know we know. Bro, right? Yeah, that one hit like a truck. But it's so... You got it on the first listen. Yeah. What does Roundhouse think would help? That's such a good question, Joyce. I would talk to her, but I always feel bad. You know, like they're friends and I talk to friends openly and I'm vulnerable with friends, but it's always different when they're therapists because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to get a free ride. You know, I'm trying to get a free meeting. I can't afford you, so I'm just going to do it now while we're at this birthday party. Yeah. Right over my head. Oh, Kathy, I love you, buddy. So this being the last live stream of the year, I would say that I'm sorry that we ended on such a note. V's birthday would have been perfect. Hell, Perfest would have been perfect. But it just didn't work out that way. But I won't apologize. I think that it's important that if we are anything here doing this, it's not as a BTS channel. It's not as a reaction channel. It's as a community that is safe and warm and accepting and encouraging and supportive. That's what I want us to be known for. And I feel like we've done a great job of that. And that's a testament to you. We have done a good job of weeding out some people over the years, too. Some people didn't fit. But you're here. And you're still here. I want us as a community to go into the new year with a new chapter. Now, I alluded to this a couple live streams ago, and because you're here now, I'm going to give you a little insider information, which I'm probably going to regret. And if I don't regret it, I'm just going to change it anyway, because I stick to nothing. I am chaos. Okay? I'm just going to say it anyway, because it doesn't matter. You can't make me do stuff. A couple live streams ago, I talked about how we had like a chapter 3 coming up because this month ends our 2nd year as a community, as a YouTube channel. The first year, chapter 1, was BTS. The entire year was nothing but BTS. God, we had fun. Oh, my adventure through Rookie King, the music videos, Run BTS, the interviews, the lives. We had so much friggin' fun. And then chapter 2 started. Now, chapter 2 started after like a 2-month break. Because some of you remember, when I took a break at the end of the first year, I was struggling. Much like I'm struggling now. Go figure. Patterns. But I was struggling. And I had to take a break because shit was just way too deep. And I was losing it. So I took 2 months off. When chapter 2 started, we started it with, I think it was a live stream, which was great. It was fun. We had a great time coming back in hot. It was great. But then really quickly, we did this thing that we called a mod request live stream. We gave the mods a chance to request anything they wanted that they thought would blow my mind. Didn't have to be BTS, just anything you want. Let's see what you got. God, that was fun. Oh, it was so fun. But what it did was it kind of made me go, there's a lot of really interesting stuff out there. And so that kind of made me go, oh man, how do I do this? Because if there's anything you've seen happen on Twitter or YouTube, it's these bunch of people that come out of the woodwork and go, oh, so here's this guy. He used his army to build his audience, and then he just goes full K-pop. I didn't want to be that guy. So I struggled. And some of the mods can tell you, I don't know how the hell I finally got over the fear of that happening, because I was literally terrified that the community that we built was just going to fall away. I thought it was going to be a betrayal. But here's what changed my mind. I saw how important the community became to a lot of you. And that was just Army. And I thought, well, wait a second. If there's this many people that need community in Army, well, what about these other groups? They have fandoms. Like, why wouldn't we extend the same community to those people? Why would we exclude them? So I was like, okay, that makes sense. We're going to do that. So we just went, you know what? The floodgates are open. Whoever shows up, shows up. The good ones will stick around. And here we are a year later. And we're doing all right. Yeah, it's about inclusion. I didn't want to leave, do you realize when I made the decision to open up the floodgates of reactions and content and stuff, the word multi-stan was a bad word. Like, you are a traitor. And I was really struggling with that decision, man. Like 100%, I was struggling with that. Like, I had, friends, close people, mods left because we went multi. We were traitors. We turned our backs on BTS. And you know what? Like a lot of you have kind of said tonight, that was a moment for me where I had to go, you know what? That doesn't matter. There are more important things. There's so many people out there that need community. And if me watching one of their group's music videos invites them into this community that they need, that's what we're going to do. And if people decide that I'm a traitor or that the community is a traitor, Sorry, you're not for us. You got to go. Because we're letting people in over here. That's what we're doing. We're not closing ranks on anybody. We're not being ridiculous. We're going to share. Right? Yeah. So that was chapter 2. Chapter 2 opened up the floodgates, and we basically went treasure hunting for our playlists, didn't we? Never looked back. I don't regret a day of it. Not a minute. We did 150 live streams in the last 2 years. We have over 1,100 videos on the channel. We built a community from the ground up, and we had a blast. So chapter 3. What is chapter 3 gonna be? This is where I say I could regret this, but I could also just say, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. We're still gonna do a little treasure hunting. We're still gonna keep the doors open. We let people in. The good ones will stick around. We're going to do some playlist, treasure hunting, but we're going to do it on a more like reasonable scale. I think that most of our live streams were us going through the Discord requests, which are in the hundreds right now. I can't watch that much stuff because I have a full-time job, right? I can't. We're still going to do some treasure hunting. I think we might have to purge the Discord requests maybe a little bit. We'll see. But we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do some more Purfest. I don't know how we're going to figure that out, but part of chapter 3 in my brain is going to be more, I don't want to say organized, because that will not be the case. Maybe a little more structured. Okay. Here's a good example. If I say, hey, this Friday, live stream, Fireball Friday, run BTS, you're going to know several days out, that's what's coming on Friday. I want to give you a chance to be there. Controlled chaos, if you will. Thank you. I want you to know this is what's coming. A little structure. We're still going to keep up with snack time, right? Because hell, I can still be healthy and have some snacks. I just can't eat all snacks all the time. We're going to learn some moderation. But I also want to settle down a bit. Here's what I mean by that. I want to do more regular run BTS. I want to do I want to do monos again. I want to do more 101s. I want to learn about other groups, basically what we have done this year, I want to do In the Soup. I want to do Bon Voyage. Yeah, but I want to do all of that in a more structured way so that you can actually plan to be there. But the other side of that coin, if I'm being a little self-centered right now, is also to help me kind of structure my actual life around this. Yeah. So we're going to do some soup. We're going to do some Bon Voyage. We're going to have more awesome times. We're going to have Fireball Friday. We're going to have Soju Saturday. And we're going to keep this train running. But here's what I need from you, okay? Because a lot of you have said, hey, how can we help? It's a good question. Here's how you can help me. A lot of you have thrown a lot of things into the chat tonight. You've been open, you've been honest, you've been vulnerable, you've been authentic. I appreciate that. What I'm asking from you is like, I'm going to try to take the baby steps that we have talked about and try to make my days a little bit better moving forward. Now, whether that for me is perspective where I don't fall apart when a day goes slightly sideways. I'm going to try to see the positive in things. I want to try to face the version of myself that I think is real and it's really not. I'm going to take these baby steps to try to see the version of me that you see. I don't know if that sounds wrong when I say that or if you take it the wrong way, but that's kind of what I want. I want to see myself the way that you see me because like you guys are really, really sweet and you're incredibly supportive. And I appreciate that. And part of why I love doing this is because like I don't feel like a turd when I'm with you. This is a really safe place for me. And I appreciate that. So moving forward, I'm telling you that I'm going to take baby steps into be a better version of myself, whether that's physically or mentally or emotionally, vocally, maybe articulately. I've just learned to talk better. But what I need from you is whatever you threw out into the chat tonight, or even if you threw nothing, but you have something that you're kind of playing your cards close. I'm going to hope as we move forward into the new year that you hold yourself just as accountable. You're taking your baby steps too. What I'm hoping is that as we continue to do this, you might actually see some change in me, whether that's physical or emotional. I don't look as tired, maybe. That would be a plus. Maybe you'll start to see a little bit of a better Roscoe. And then when you see that and you realize that, hopefully that mirrors your baby steps. You realize, oh, I'm feeling better too. I'm doing better. I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Doing better than I was last week. And yes, Santi, I will be absolutely growing this hair out. As much as the Fert hates it, do you want to see it? I'm going to show it to you. Jilly Bean, hey buddy. Okay, you can't see it. It's all padded down right now. Oh, look at that. This is chaos. Look how long it is. Oh, it's so crazy. Look. Oh. I went with the undercut. That was kind of a mistake, but oh yeah. Huh? Look at that. It's so good. Oh. Huh? Okay, you can't take me seriously like this. Much better. There's Bratley. Look. Bratley Curlper. I'm so emo. The goal by the end of the year is to grow this bad boy out and tie it up in a beautiful bun as it all falls out into my face. That's not good. The Fert hates it because she likes the military look. She wants me to have the... Yeah. I want a man bun. I want a damn man bun. So we're going to do it. But aside from long hair, no man bun? No, I'm not doing the high and tight. I'm not going to walk around looking like a damn jarhead. No way. I've wanted to grow my hair out since I was 16. I never did it. I've had kind of long hair, like it went past my ears, and that's as far as I got. I had that greasy Kurt Cobain look. It was terrible. It was so gross. Yeah, I want to look like a damn samurai. Yeah. But back to the point. Santi got me all sideways. Thank you, Bethany. See, Bethany already fits in. I love that. I love people that come in and holler the damn Kool-Aid man. Love that. But back to the point. I'm hoping that these will continue for us. We can have some moments where we're real, we're honest with each other, just throw it out there. This is what community does. Jojo wants pigtails and for me to rub food all over myself. Got it. That's worth £2. So I just have to take care of it and you'll support me. Got it. All right, pigtails, you got it. You got it, Jojo. Pigtails, food all over, baby oil. Check. I know Liz is happy. There's no reason that we shouldn't be taking care of ourselves. I guess be real. There's no reason. Some of us go through modes, phases, where we just kind of stop. We stop taking care of ourselves. Sometimes that's because we're taking care of somebody else. Sometimes it's because we're taking care of everybody else. But I feel like this is the one time where we should be allowed to like be selfish. Just like the oxygen mask analogy, like I should make sure that I'm good before I'm helping somebody else. Right? Yeah. Sometimes we just forget. Absolutely. So you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be selfish. We can still help take care of others. We can still do things for others. But I think it's important that we try to do that without sacrificing ourselves. Darcel, that's the worst $10 you have ever paid. Because now I'm going to do the man bun and I'm going to put a $10 bill up here in the bun. And I'm going to write Darcel on it. Boom. Done. I'm going to hide that $10 up there. I hope I remember that. Tamara, write that down. $10 bow. That's perfect. Totally. Oh, it's official now. Maybe I can change your mind. Let me pull up my Pinterest. That's right. I've got a Pinterest. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me show you what 2024 Roscoe is going to look like. Be careful. Tad just wiped the whole floor of the chat down. Okay? This is 2024 Roscoe. Okay? See how happy chat is? Look, more money's getting thrown around. Yeah. That's going to be me. Yep. Chat is going to be slippery all the time. It's going to be great. And I'm going to be gorgeous. Shut up, Tad. Why you got to rub that in? Oh. Yeah, it is very Jason Momoa. Not Mimosa, which I thought his name was. It's not. That's what we're going to do. Thank you, Tasia. See, Tasia supports us. Handsome as hell. Tad for motivation. Tad is my hairspiration. Oh man, too funny. But you know what? Like in all honesty, like in all seriousness, for me, growing the hair out is representative of me doing what I want to do instead of what everybody tells me I should do. So I'm kind of being a brat in a way. I know I give you all a bunch of shit, but like I want to be a brat for me, right? I'm gonna grow my damn hair out. That's right, Jen. Yep. I'm gonna do me. That's it. No, don't tell me not to do it. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed tonight, but I don't know if you really got anything out of tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'm sure maybe you had fun. Maybe. That's not really a fun live stream, but hopefully it wasn't bad, right? I hope you got something out of it. I mean, seriously, I do. And if anything, I just want to reiterate to you that I love our community. I love what we do, and I want to keep doing it for a very long time. And I think the best way that we can ensure that is if we are all kind of working in the same direction. And that's in maybe a slightly more selfish way than we have been. Yeah. I like it, Marco. Marco from Italy. See, I pay attention, buddy. Now I was going to be like, how do I tell him I'm from Switzerland? See what I did there? Self-care is healthcare. Yeah, looking after yourself isn't selfish. I know. But you know how we feel like it is. It stops us. So you know what I think we should do? We are 30 seconds away from 2 hours that we have been sitting here running our food holes and spitting all over everything. I mean, I have, not you, but you know what I think we should do? I know, Marco. See, I pay attention. We should do something that we have not done in a long time. It was a tradition. It was a tradition that we started. Ooh, man. Whiskey. And we stopped doing that tradition. Who knows what it is? Ah, there you go, Joyce. Tad. So for those of you that you're either new or you haven't been around for a little while, one of the traditions that we had is we're going to play this song and video. I'll play the video. And I want you to write in chat something that you love about yourself. That's what I want you to do. Okay? You can write one thing. You can write 10 things. But I want it to be about you. Okay? Let's see here. Let's get this right.
오늘은 같이 부를 수 있죠? is love, yeah. It is love, yeah. Sometimes I know, yeah. Sometimes I don't, yeah. 이 다음 가사, 뭐라고 쓸까? 너무 많은 말이 날 도와주만 내 맘 같은 게 하나. 그냥 느끼죠. 해가 뜨고 나면 꼭 다리 뜨듯이 손톱이 자라듯 겨울이 오면 나무들이 하늘하늘 옷을 벗듯이 넌 나의 뜻을 추억으로 바꿀 사람 사람을 사랑으로 만들 사람 널 알기 전에 심장은 온통 직선뿐이던 거난 그냥 살아 넌 나 모르는 목소리 다시 살아 으로 만들어 우리 살아 저 무수히 많은 직선에서 살짝 좀 I live for love I live for love Say love You I live for love I live for love Yeah You You ain't I turn up 너 때문에 알았어 왜 사람과 사랑이 비슷한 소리가 나는지 Make live for love yeah. Live for love yeah. 너 때문에 알았어 왜 사람이 사랑을 하며 살아가 하는지 I와 UN 거리 모이만 F, J, K, L, M, N Pick your arrest 모든 글자 건너 내가 느껴다지 반대만 해도 똑같은 소리가 나잖아 그렇다고 내가 너무 좋아 너의 천천히 일부가 되고 봐 너의 소설이 난 참견하고 봐 여진으로 함께 넌 날 모든 목소리 자신 나 으로 만들어 우리 소위 많은 직선에서 내 살아 그 위에 살짝 앉아 I live for love I live for love Say love I live for love I live for love Yeah 어떨까 나가면 넌 슬플까 만약 내가 아니면 넌 뭘까 결국 너 좀 날 떠날까 스치는 바람 하나님이 바라보 흘러가 사람 하나님이 바라보 기분은 바람 머릿속은 어떤 blue 너를 말아 얼마나 넌 나의 사랑 넌 나의 바람
같이 불러줘서 행복해요.
사랑하는 거 알죠?
Love.
That is a wonderful tradition that we should continue. And you see why now. I love that you're here. I love that we got to spend some time together. When we do our next live stream, let's see. I'll put an actual date out so you have time to plan. We'll do our first 2024 live. But when we do that, I want you to have ready with you, in the holster, ready to go, a little report about what you have done in the right direction. All right? So it's not too late. We're starting now. When you see that purple heart and we cut this, it's go time. Baby steps. We're not going to solve everything overnight. But next time the live comes up and we get the family back together, yeah, I want you to have ready a little report. Tell me what you've done. If you took steps, that's what I want you to let us know. Okay? If you want to be bold like JoJo and admit that you love me, well, that's still a step in the right direction. Even JoJo's changing, for crying out loud. One foot in front of the other. That's right, Bethany. So to each and every one of you that have joined us tonight, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sharing what you shared. Thank you for joining this incredible community that we have built. And I will absolutely see you on the other side of this new year. Next year's going to be great because we're going to take little steps together in the right direction. I'm Roscoe. I'm your buddy. And you got a whole bunch of other buddies right here. Look out for each other because we still have a long journey ahead of us.